Now we've all been there, those times when an unexpected expense hits and you just don't have the cash to cover it. With so many different aspects to my financial situation, like editors to pay, sponsorships, merch, and taxes, it's crucial that I'm able to make ends meet. In fact, Americans pay billions in overdraft fees each year, including a whopping $11 billion in 2021 alone. That's why I use Dave. Dave is a banking app that's leveling the financial playing field. When you download Dave, you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit check, no late fees, no interest. It's part of Dave's Extra Cash account. Advance the money you need with no interest, and then settle up later. Extra Cash gives you more money to buy groceries, fill the tank, and pay rent, without having to wait for your next paycheck. It's time to remove extra stress with Extra Cash. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to make their finances easier. So if you're in a pinch, get the help you need by downloading Dave. Download Dave today at dave.com/JohnnyArnett. You could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave. No credit check, no late fees, no interest. Download the Dave app now and go to dave.com/JohnnyArnett. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Eligibility criteria and instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC. Well, now I've really done it. I dared to dig into history a bit and seek out the truth, in an area that doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things if we're being honest. But now, because of that, I ended up angering the basketball establishment. On both sides of the basketball community, I'm now seen as this biased propaganda pusher. The reality is, more so than ever before, basketball discourse has become extremely tribalistic. The logic is that you're either for us or against us, and no in between. I can't tell you exactly why it became this way, but my guess would be the presence of social media in our lives. Its influence and algorithms have clumped people together into echo chambers of groupthink, where diversity of thought and being your own individual are essentially frowned upon. If you're a fan of Jordan, fellow Jordan fans will assume that everything you ever say about LeBron James will be negative, and you should never acknowledge any fault in Jordan whatsoever. If you're a LeBron fan, your fellow LeBron fans will assume that you'll never speak ill of your king, because in his own words, he's never made a bad basketball decision in his entire life. Additionally, you must despise the very existence of Michael Jordan. And if anyone ever says anything positively about him, you must quickly remind them that he cheated and his competition is inferior. I gotta be honest, guys, this is all so tiresome at this point. When I was a kid, watching my dad's VHS tapes on repeat of all the basketball games he recorded, I didn't really have one single player who I adored more than any other, but I was a fan of the game. Reggie Miller was fascinating to me because he was as skinny as I was, but he was fearless out there on the court. Michael Jordan was awesome because he was the guy who had skills even beyond my imagination. Magic Johnson was incredible because he was so flashy and just amazed me how he could be the best player on the court while being a distributor. Larry Bird was just so smart, and I was so blown away by the fact that he could be so good while looking like just a regular unathletic dude. James Worthy was so fast, and I loved the way he glided through the air. And I thought he was so cool with his basketball goggles that I used to casually wear my pool goggles everywhere, just so that I could look like him. That was the kind of basketball fan I was at the age of 6 and 7, and in many ways, that kid never grew up. Sure, being a fan of your favorite player is cool, but what was far more meaningful than that to me was being a fan of the game of basketball. I remember having genuine and honest basketball conversations about players' gifts and about their weaknesses. For me, how I spoke about the players didn't change the truth about who the players really were. It was just my opinion, and it was either true or it wasn't. But all of that has changed dramatically in the years since. Now it seems like everyone is a part of their own fan clubs, and everyone in that club must pledge allegiance to their favorite player. And if you stray away from loyalty to your favorite player for even just a moment, you become ostracized by the rest of the community. And that is exactly where I find myself today.
Side. I am on nobody's side because nobody is on my side.
Another way of putting it is this viral tweet. This perfectly encompasses the basketball community as a whole these days. But instead of saying, "I like pancakes," it could say, "I think Jordan steals might have been inflated." And the response is, "So you worship LeBron James?" Or how about, "I think LeBron is hurting the Lakers by controlling them?" Which then gets a response like, "So you intimately dream about Michael Jordan?" Again, according to the basketball masses, there's no room anymore for honest free thinkers. Personally, I am very aware of this topic. Because Kobe Bryant is my favorite player, I honestly think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and LeBron James plays for the Lakers, which is my favorite team. I basically have eggs in the baskets of each of these players' legacies. But apparently, many basketball fans are incapable of comprehending that. My mission on this channel is to be a genuine place where lovers of the game can get together and talk about the sport. Maybe it was just my friend group growing up, but from what I observed, basketball discourse wasn't always this political and cringy. We could talk about the game authentically, acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses of our favorite players, without getting so damn insecure like their reputation is about to be ruined just because we dared to be honest for a minute. If our favorite player shot 3 of 20 from the field, it's okay to admit that our guy looked awful that night, and couldn't hit water if he was shooting off a boat. But now, fan bases have to convince people that their guy, quote, still had a decent game. Look at how he outworked everyone. Look at how he set screens. See how he made his teammates better? For goodness sake, just take the L. If hypothetically push comes to shove, and I end up being the last objective basketball fan in the community, then I'm okay with that. I'll die peacefully knowing that I stayed who I am despite the pressure to conform. The thing is, I think we all can enjoy the game just a little bit more if some of us just loosened up a bit. Your favorite player is probably great at the game, but he isn't perfect, and he isn't a god. And the sooner we accept this, the sooner we can be basketball fans, instead of quarrelsome fanboys. So to put this into practice, I'm going to ask us to do something weird and possibly an uncomfortable exercise for some of you. In the comment section, I want you first to say who your favorite player is, and share what you believe is a legitimate criticism about your favorite player. After we've all done that, I think we can each take a deep breath, and relax in the fact that you being honest about this player for 30 seconds didn't actually destroy his entire legacy. Kobe Bryant is my favorite player by far, and he always will be. Unfortunately, Kobe shot us in the foot in the 2004 NBA Finals. Him and Shaq had been beefing, and Shaq had been the Finals MVP for their previous 3 championships. Kobe put his motivation to get his first Finals MVP ahead of the team, and because of that, he shot the ball 30 more times than Shaq did that series, while hitting only 38% of his shots compared to Shaq's 63%. It was brutal to watch. We should have had a better shot at beating the Pistons, but we didn't because of Kobe's ego. Now again, Kobe is still my favorite player. He's a legend. He's the hardest working player I've ever seen. He's the coolest basketball player ever in my opinion. And I will still keep this picture hanging in my studio, where I can draw inspiration from all these awesome Kobe quotes. But yeah, he wasn't perfect, and I'm okay admitting that. So now it's your turn. Do you enjoy modern basketball discourse? And who is your favorite player, and what is the legitimate criticism about him? I look forward to hearing your honest thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.